Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome to your number one source for Native American television news. It's Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman. Want to welcome you in here to the Muskogee Media Studios in Okmulgee as we get ready for 30 minutes of news coming your way. We've got a great show lined up. Want to say hello and good Saturday to all of our folks in the Tulsa area. And if you're watching us in the western side of the state on KSBI, I want to say hope you're having a good Sunday, everybody out there. A lot of our friends out that way. If you are in that area, we have some news coming to you from there. As we went to the University of Oklahoma this week, found out a little bit about their new program at the law school that they're very excited about. It's actually a Indigenous Peoples Law degree, a master's degree. Now, you don't even necessarily need a law background to get this. It's really for tribal officials, people working at Native American tribes. It's a really great degree. Can't wait to show you an update on that as they get that rolling and everything going with that. Also, we went to the western side of the state again, up in Edmond, where an 8-year-old boy, Mr. Hardjo, what a fantastic kid this is. I can't wait for you to see the story this week. He is a state champion in Taekwondo. The guy does a little bit of everything. He's just a really neat little kid, does a wonderful job in all that he does, his schoolwork, all kinds of sports, but specifically his martial arts, his Taekwondo. Can't wait to show you that story as well. And also this week, the first week in October, and everybody get ready for fall, got the hoodies out, everything like that, but it also signals the Tulsa State Fair. And when you talk about the Tulsa State Fair, you cannot miss going in. You actually got to talk about the Muskogee Creek Nation, because the River Spirit Event Center there on the campus there of the Tulsa State Fair going on, and you have right there as you come in the Creek Nation booth, the Creek Nation display. So all that and more this week on Native News Today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
It's more than just an associate degree. It's a life-changing experience.
You'll see a lot of cultural features here on the campus. You'll see a symbol of the mound, which goes back to the history of Muskogee people as being in that Mississippian time period, that mound building society. That really welcomes our students whenever they first get here.
The college in itself is beyond the building, is the people.
They're passionate, very passionate about what they teach, and it shows whenever they're teaching.
The instructors and the administration, they really believe in their students here.
After a couple classes, I began to notice that it kind of felt as if I were returning back to something that has been lost for like a long time. As I learned more about the history of my people, to discover that there were very many great people that did a lot of good things for their people, for their nations, and that those people were American Indian and Native American, it kind of brings out a sense of pride that was not really there before.
There is a future for our people.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. Give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
I think creatively I was just into drawing for a long time, ever since I was a kid. It wasn't until maybe around late 2007, 2008 that I became aware of the graffiti scene. It changed everything for me. You don't even really understand in the beginning what kind of journey it's going to take you on, but I think that in order to become great at what you do, it really boils down to how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your own artistic creativity and your own expression. I think it comes from a belief in oneself and pushing yourself to the limits as far as you can take it.
And welcome back to Native News Today. And as we get started with our first feature for this week, we cannot wait to show you this. The Native American Karate Kid, that's what I've been calling him for the last few weeks. We were so excited to go up and visit with Jer Hardjo. Him and his dad Henry do a fantastic job there in Edmond, Oklahoma, of getting him prepared for his Taekwondo tournaments, things like that. Jer does a little bit of everything. We got some literature on that guy. He is involved in baseball, basketball, football. He's a diver. He does some Taekwondo, but he's really, really passionate and wants to take his martial arts to such a high level, and it's really neat to see him talk about it and open up, and I can't wait to show you the story because he will do that. But going into his workout room, you see all the trophies, all the things that he's accomplished. This young Native American gentleman is doing a fantastic job early in life, and I think the sky's the limit with Mr. Jer Hardjo.
My name is Jer. I am 9 years old. I am a black belt in Taekwondo. I just started watching movies like Karate Kid, and it made me interested in going at a ninja. So my last one was it was in Kansas, and I liked it, and I did good. I did good on forms and sparring and weapons. I watch other people, so I learn their weaknesses and other things like their strengths. I go to combat karate. It's a big group, and we do sparring, forms, and working on our stance. And we spar and we learn kenjutsu and how to get out of the hand, and you learn where to hit and stuff. I really like Native American because my dad told me that in World War I, the Japanese, I think, was figuring out their language, so Native Americans were joining in and they made a new code. And I read a book called The Code Breaker, so I like being a Native American. I feel like going to I feel like the ninja is the top part goal that I really want to be because I practice it at home and sneak around. My other goal was whenever I go on shows and we're watching American Ninja Warrior, it makes me want to watch it because there's so many obstacles. I love obstacles.
The moving, whether it's doing a side kick, doing a roundhouse kick, doing all of these types of kicks, and they're moving. It's forcing them to make that movement. Even hand movements, even in a ki jiu-jitsu, it's a matter of keeping your opponent off balance and doing joint, just working on the joints. So there's a great deal of emphasis with that. And as Jer is over here doing his push-ups, he's accustomed to doing 80 to 100 a day. And when he got ready for his black belt, he wound up doing over 500 push-ups for his black belt. So I think there's a lot of exercise and a lot of constitutionality about our children that, through exercise and movement, it helps. And I believe that, in this case, he's teaching me. He teaches me how to be an adult, teaches me how to be a parent. And that's very important because we all know that there's no cookbook, there is no grandioso book that tells you how to be a parent. But with Jer, I've learned so much from him.
And our thanks again to the Hardjo family there for welcoming us into their home in Edmond, a beautiful home and a really great family there. Do a fantastic job with their children, raising them up in a great way, and there's culture all over the place. And Jer, knows some of the language, but also really just passionate about what he does and lots of things, especially Taekwondo. So really neat to see him let her rip there and really do fantastic job in not only the day we were there to seeing some of the moves, but also in all of his competitions, and we wish him the best of luck going forward. Well, as I said, we also went to the University of Oklahoma this week, and it was to talk with our old friend, Dr. Lindsey Robertson. He is the Faculty Director of American Indian Law at OU, and he does a fantastic job. He also came down, you'll remember the name maybe, came down a few weeks ago and was the moderator for our Principal Chiefs debate for the Muskogee media here. So, talked with Lindsey about the new Masters of Indigenous Peoples Law program at OU.
This is an update on the Masters of Legal Studies in Indigenous Peoples Law program. We launched it, I guess, 3 years ago. We graduated with a test class. We graduated our first cohort last year at the law school graduation. It went very well. Since then, the number of students has increased enormously, and we're receiving new applications every week. We're very excited about it. The master's program is all online and it's asynchronous, which means you don't have to show up at any particular time to participate. We videotaped lectures. They're available. We have monitored discussion threads. We have assignments every week. It's a regular class. It's a demanding class, but we're training people in important subjects, and so we want our students to take it seriously. Essentially what we've done is to take our entire law school Indian law curriculum and spread it out and reteach it so that it's accessible to people who don't have formal legal training. Tribal government officials, among them, tribal leaders, and as I suggested a minute ago, people who work with tribes. The program can be done part-time in 21 months, or if you're a real enthusiastic learner, you can do it full-time in as little as 12 months. Each course is structured to run approximately 7 weeks. You focus on, the majority of students will take one class at a time and stretch it out that way so that they can, as many of our students do, continue to work their full-time jobs while they're working towards their degree. A lot of folks have used these skills to apply for federal grants, for monies they really didn't know existed before, or to, in other ways, improve the quality of life in their communities. But we've also, as you know, we've discussed before, enjoyed training people who go work sort of on the other side of these issues, people who go to work in industry, people who go to work for state or federal government and deal with tribal governments. Everybody wins when everybody knows what the rules are, essentially. And so the job that we've set for ourselves is to train as many people in what the rules are as possible so that tribes can negotiate and non-tribal entities can negotiate with tribes, and people can cut deals that everybody's satisfied with. That's the goal. We're very proud of our students, of our current students and our graduate students as well. We get regular reports back of successes that people have had personal and for their communities as a result of having participated and completed the program. One student who's works for the government of a Western Oklahoma tribe emailed and called us very excited last year, saying that she had, as a result of the program, been able to put together an application for a community center for tribal elders with all sorts of innovative features. And she was convinced, as was her boss, that she wouldn't have gotten it but for things that she learned in the program, which enabled her to put together a persuasive application for funding. Another student contacted us to say he had gotten a promotion at work in the school system. He was working with Native kids throughout the school system in Oklahoma City as a result of having the master's degree in Indigenous Peoples Law, and was excited about that. We've had students decide to pursue further education as a result. One woman was especially excited by the history of federal Indian law and policy course that we taught, took her master's, used it to apply to a PhD program in American history, focusing on the history of tribes and federal tribal relations, and was accepted into the program. So she's now working towards a doctorate, which is something she hadn't planned when she started the program. And of course, it's stories like these that keep us coming back and are the real reason that we're excited to be a part of this program. The only prerequisite is that you have a college degree, and we do have an application process, and we like to hear from you sort of why you're interested in the program and that sort of thing. The formalities of the application process and detailed information about the courses we offer, et cetera, can be found online at oulawonline.com, oulawonline.com. And all of us are accessible. I am Professor Taiwagi Helton is. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to email us or call us directly, and we'll put you in touch with people who can give you more detailed information and speak to your particular situation.
Okay, and our thanks once again to all the folks up at OU Law, and they do a great job up there. Also, Mr. Lindsey Robertson sitting with us for that interview talking about this Masters of Indigenous Peoples Law program. And as he said in the story, I want to mention to you once again, oulawonline.com. You can get more information on that, see all that you need to see about the application process, and get going if that's something that you want to pursue. It'd be a great thing, no doubt, for people involved in tribal services and working for tribal nations. So, as I said earlier, we are going to talk about the Tulsa State Fair and all the great things that happened there. And as we begin to roll some things from last year's fair, you can see that as you walk into the River Spirit Event Center there at the Tulsa Fairgrounds, all kinds of things to do and see, but mostly that Muskogee Creek Nation display there. It's a big display, but what's neat about it is you can see some of our arbors, some of the things that are dwellings, and you know, the scaled model there of Etowah and things like that, of our old townships, and you know, really get a piece of history there of the Muskogee Creek Nation as you walk in, be educated, and also just walking around the River Spirit Event Center as well, just seeing all kinds of things, and you can see all the food. Of course, you can't talk about the Tulsa State Fair without talking about the great food, all that's involved there, but also the stage, you know, the Muskogee Creek Nation stage. As you can see, there's lots of things going on there. We sponsor that stage, and you know, there's lots of different entertainment that goes on, and it's neat to be able to have our name on that and just have a really big presence there at the fair always, and lots happening. But as you can see too, last year as we roll through all this, but you're seeing the corn dogs and the chicken chicken and all that good stuff, and you can see why, you know, I was so much heavier back then than I am now. It's a lot of good food to eat, so might have to stay away from the fair this year, but a lot of fun, and as I said, cultural demonstrations you've seen earlier, stickball, finger weaving, stuff like that. We'll get back to that here in just a moment, but also can't let you get away without talking this week about the powwow going on. That'll be October 3rd, today, Friday. Now that's happening kind of like right now. It's getting started. The gourd dance actually starts at 1 o'clock. Then registration will be at 1 to 6. The supper break will be 5 to 6. Contest and intertribal dancing, though, kicks off tonight at 6:30, and that goes all the way to 10. That's right there at the Tulsa Fairgrounds Central Park lawn. The Tulsa State Fair Intertribal Powwow, put on by the Muskogee Creek Nation. Really cool. They're having contests for tiny tots, junior boys combined and girls, men's fancy, straight, grass, chicken, and traditional. Women's will be cloth, buckskin, fancy shawl, jingle, really all kinds of competition and things going on there for the fair. So the powwow is really neat happening, and as you can see too from some of the footage we're rolling, actually had a little mini powwow there at our display last year thanks to the Pasatopa family. So lots of great stuff happening there at the fair. Always a fun time, and like I said, it's really neat just to see the Creek Nation having such a presence there at the Tulsa State Fair. And as I said earlier, you can see the tribal presence along with the traditional cultural demonstrations going on there, and one of our cultural demonstrations was last year that we'd like to highlight and show you one more time just because I thought it was so neat. One of our honored artists, Sandy Fife Wilson of the Muskogee Creek Nation, was demonstrating finger weaving. I think you'll like this. It gives you an idea of what all you can do at the fair there. It's really neat.
Today I'm demonstrating finger weaving, which is a traditional technique of weaving done by a lot of the eastern tribes, southeastern tribes. The Creeks did it. And trying to educate people on some of the traditional techniques done by the Creek Indians and show how intricate a lot of the things are, the weaving, because people just are used to just going and buying things and they don't know what all goes into the work, how much time and skill goes into the actual weaving. And unlike loom weaving, this one you touch every thread every time it's going across. You touch every thread that you're using instead of just weaving all up and down at the same time. With the finger weaving also, you can get designs that you can't get on the loom without a lot of work, because the finger weaving, you can get chevrons, diamonds, zigzags, arrowheads, lightning, all kinds of designs and patterns, different sizes and everything. It takes a lot of time, and there aren't a lot of people who want to spend their time doing something that takes, you know, like this finger weaving is a lot slower than weaving on loom. I also want to put a plug in for the College of the Muskogee Creek Nation, Muskogee Nation, because I took my shell carving classes there under Dan Townsend one summer, and I love doing that, using the old pre-Columbian designs from the southeast. And I took a flute making class from Nelson Hardjo and creek baskets. Well, I took a creek pottery class from Mary Smith, and she also taught me to do the creek baskets with river cane. So I've learned a lot, and you never stop learning and sharing. My mother was an artist and art teacher, and she went to art teacher training in Santa Fe, New Mexico when she was out of high school and college. And so she learned a lot of the different techniques, skills, pottery, weaving, painting, just everything. And so when we were growing up, when we were little, she always had us doing something, and we're never bored, and she always would teach us, you know, go down and dig some clay out of down black land and how to get it ready and how to weave and how to paint. And my sisters are artists and my brother carves, and I mean, it's just part of our life because she taught us how to do all of these things that, you know, were part of our culture, and she just kind of passed it on to us. And when I went to school in Santa Fe, New Mexico at the Institute of American Indian Arts, I took traditional techniques from Josephine Webb. And she's still living, she's like 104 years old now, but she taught me more about the finger weaving and some of the different patterns and everything. And so I've just really loved doing it. I've been here several years, and I always meet a lot of people who are fascinated with Indians overall. But they, you know, they like seeing this and learning a little bit more about the people who were here, you know, who were the Native Americans and what they do. But you know, there are a lot of people who ask about having lessons and, you know, or relate some of their background, or they say, well, wasn't so-and-so Park Creek, you know, and I've seen something like that before and I didn't know what it was, and, you know, but it's a chance to teach and inform people, educate, but it's fun. I enjoy it.
And that's going to wrap us up for another episode of Native News Today. We want to thank all the people that made it happen this week. The Hardjo family there in Edmond, young Jared doing great things in the martial arts world. Also, OU Law, thanks for having us up again, talking about the Masters of Legal Studies in Indigenous Peoples Law. Great program there. You can get through with it in less than 2 years. If you're really ambitious, you can do it in a year, as Lindsay said. So, great program there. Love being able to highlight that. And also, taking a look back at the fair from last year, Sandy Fife Wilson, you know, one of our treasured artists here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. She's always done a wonderful job. Actually, our own Jared Moore here, he cut his artistic teeth under Sandy's guidance there at Morris High School many years ago. Not many years ago. He's still a very young man there, Jared. But no, it's a great time speaking with Sandy last year, and it's just a great example, though, of that booth really serving a great purpose, not just taking up space there in the expo center, but also an ability to teach, you know, the folks that come through about Muskogee Creek culture, about the culture that started the city in which they inhabit there, Tulsa. So it's a great thing to be able to do and be a part of. We love showcasing it here on the show as well. As I said at the beginning, we always love our viewers on television, CW, KSBI. But if you aren't in either of those areas, you can catch us all the time on our online channel. Whenever you want to watch Native News Today, it's sort of on demand there. So go on YouTube, search Native News Today. It's a great opportunity for you to get on there and see all kinds of stories, plus episodes each week. We update it all the time, and you can watch whatever you want, whenever you want. That's a great thing to have. So keep checking us out on Facebook. Keep checking us out on Twitter. We're at Native News Guys there. And go see our Instagram, see all the photos we're doing. For Jared Moore, Devin Lux Singer, myself, all the people making it happen, we'll see you guys next week.